Hey, quarterfinals is here. Quarterfinals is ready. We have our previous number 52 tournament champion, 𝗧𝗧𝗺𝗀𝗃𝗃, trying to do a repeat of what he did the previous event. Can he do that here today? It looks like he's not going to have that nice little Luma grandpa to work with for game number 1. But let's see what Rishi decides to ban on Dinodude's team.
Absolutely. Removing the Drakash straight out. Grandpa and Drakash being removed here from the first ban. So, curious picks, but the rat, he's the first pick for Dinodude.
You know,
we'll see how it goes.
It is not looking too bad. Usually the biggest arch nemesis for the big old rat is a wind Temtem, right? It can't even bear the brunt of a simple tornado for most wind Temtems. So the fact that Rishi only working with a single wind Temtem in that grandpa, that's a nice little opener for Dinodude to leave a little window for the rat to come through. But hey, these are two Temtems that could pretty much handle the rat pretty well. So not too shabby. Let's see what he picks up on the counter pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So opening with guns blazing already, both the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 and the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 in the opening with that roller, of course. So just deterring the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 from doing anything in turn 1. Maybe Dinodude will be playing for turn 2 in that case, or maybe he's going to read 𝗧𝗺𝗺𝗃𝗃's attempt at the read. We'll have to see, but we'll see the pairing here. Ishir is so good here, I think. At least for the opening turn.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad. He kind of leaning towards that Shia Lance, right? It does have that 𝗂𝗂𝗶𝗵𝗺 trait, so it keeps that little rat protected for that opening turn. He has 8 seconds to make his decision, and he does decide on the 𝗂𝗂𝗶𝗵𝗺 trait. So nice little trait, always catches me by surprise. So let's see, it does have strong melee techniques like Soul Shout, or perhaps it was Requiem Massage. One of those should be pretty effective against the rotor. And you know, if you do effective damage in the rotor and then it nullifies with reactive vial, the rat with the big old lava waves should be chunking the rhino if the speeds work that way.
I'm already really down for Dinodude. 7 seconds left on reserve. 𝗧𝗧𝗺𝗃𝗃, though, taking a bit of time to consider what to ban here. And we'll have to see. But yeah, the Ishir will have to go. It's quite the value, at least since there's still a Bastion as well for 𝗧𝗧𝗺𝗃𝗃's options. And Dinodude, let's see what he considers to ban here. It might be interesting to just ban perhaps the Hocus here or Kinu, which the Kinu will go.
Yeah, I do feel like one of those mental Temtems wouldn't be too bad. He has a fire for the Lemurian, so it doesn't feel too bad. But hey, this is the bread and butter for 𝗧𝗧𝗺𝗃𝗃. When he says his core, he definitely means that poke is Tattoo Grandpa core. So, you know, a little 2/3 of that core, Tattoo poke is getting picked up. And hey, Rishi has a Luma, Dinodude has a Luma, but both Temtems, or rather both Tamers, picking up their Bastions to get this quarterfinals underway. Let's see, everyone. It will be a best of 3 series, so one of these Tamers will unfortunately have their tournament run ending here in the end of these sets, but this is just game number 1, so not just yet, of course.
Volt with that half full and the baton pass, of course. The rat pog, let's go. it's a rat pog. That's great. But the Shaolan and the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 with the opening here. The 𝗂𝗂𝗶𝗵𝗺 trait, did it prompt? Oh yeah,
that's the bamboozle, the evasion you're seeing on the rat.
Yeah, the evasion one. Yep, that's the evasion one. So yeah, the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 will get a turn of protection here. I'm not sure if that's still enough to confidently keep it in, because the damage the roller will still probably get the stone ball in, depending on the speeds here. But we'll see what the Shaolan is able to do.
I definitely agree. Stone Ball being a 1 priority move. If Rishi wants to go ahead and pop the Bamboozle with the Scare Volt, that 1 prio move on rotor should be landing on the rat. But I don't think it's going to be taking it all the way down from 100 to 0. So potentially the rat paw could be getting 2 techniques out before going down. And it could be more than enough. So the Embers nullifying some of that pressure coming out. But the Soul Shout on the Scarable, interesting. Finding it more threatening. So only taking the Stone Ball damage from the rotor.
30% less damage, and it's still so much, 80%. If that was the full brunt of that stone ball, 𝗧𝗲𝗺 would be dead by now. Absolutely devastating. The trade does not go in favor of Dinodude. And yeah, he tried to poke the roller a bit, punish the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 for staying in, but the 𝗧𝗲𝗺 just didn't do enough damage to really compensate. Now the rat is in danger here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it looks like that swing, that first opening turn did favor Rishi a little bit, but Wastewater just trying to get rid of the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 ASAP.
Absolutely. Now down to just 12% more damage, and it should be enough. So the Soul Shout will secure that kill in the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. But the Rock Fall to trade into the 𝗧𝗵𝗆, already doing a ton of damage on the 𝗧𝗲𝗺 as well. On top of that, burning, and the Burrow will apply the evasion, but that's not enough. 𝗧𝗵𝗆 will get traded. So 1-for-1, actually turning it a little bit back around to Dinodude's favor here. Mr. Rishi could have secured that kill better, I think, but still, regardless, 1-for-1, not the end of the world. Got a lot of chip damage done.
Yeah, Dinodude doing a fantastic job of taking care of that 𝗧𝗵𝗆 nice and early, threatening a lot of those Tems like this 𝗬𝗂𝗆, and it looks like Mr. Rishi didn't catch wind of that game plan because he went for the burrow on his way out. You know, ideally, if Rishi could take that back, I'm pretty sure he would have elected to go for a nice little damage, a damage play, a damage potential play, like a nice little Thunder Strike on that 𝗧𝗲𝗆, just to go out swinging. It should have taken it down to, you know, like 40%, 35%, even more because it was +1 special attack, right? So it probably almost brought it down into the 30s, even potentially more, of course. So yeah, a little bit of a hiccup for Rishi, but a whole lot of games still remaining here. 4 Temtems, as you mentioned, still remaining for each of these guys. But interesting enough, they both elect to bring in their 𝗬𝗂𝗆. So 𝗬𝗂𝗆𝗵𝗁 here in our quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. The lava dinosaurs, or the lava sharks, I should say, both on the field here. But again, the roller is such a gigantic threat for the side of Mr. Rishi. No stamina though, so we'll have to overexert to do any more, but we'll be back pocketing it for the time being for that Hocus coming in. Mom's lunch as well, applying that exhaustion. Inner Spirit is thrown down, but that's all of the stamina gone for the 𝗧𝗲𝗆 into that 𝗬𝗂𝗆. Will do a decent chunk of damage. That's 36%, but the overexertion trade is huge, and the rage coming through. Defense down is huge though, and the lava wave to follow. Will that impact the 𝗬𝗂𝗆 enough? Not at all.
Yeah,
1/4 damage.
Exactly right. Quarter damage, not getting too much across. And that was quarter damage being -3 defense down, right? So not getting too much across. But we'll see, of course, Mr. Rishi double damage 𝗬𝗂𝗆 incoming into Dinodude. You know, if he's able to preserve that 𝗬𝗂𝗆 for the likes of 𝗬𝗂𝗆, for the likes of 𝗧𝗵𝗆, it should be packing a devastating punch with things like Lava Wave, Meteor Swarm. So I think Rishi did his job of making sure he got that rage off. But now he has to do preservation time, right? You don't want to afford any more HP on that 𝗬𝗂𝗆, so it could be hitting the back line. I'm thinking something like good little 𝗬𝗏 could be a nice little Temtem to bring in here. But let's see, 𝗬𝗂𝗆 thinking it's coming out of here. So no, 𝗬𝗂𝗆 just staying put. Very impressive for Rishi.
𝗬𝗂𝗆 comes in with that chamomile lava wave thrown down as well. So the 𝗧𝗲𝗆 just trying to get picked off here, but this should be enough. This raged up 𝗬𝗂𝗆 popping off.
Yeah, and the 𝗧𝗲𝗆 did a lot in the beginning, but Rishi slowly but surely coming through. 2 Temtem down on Dinodude in because the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. So both win Temtems here, but now it doesn't feel like the 𝗬𝗂𝗆 is too threatened out. I mean, you have Plague. That's not going to be doing too much as it is neutral damage, and the only electric technique online will be Tesla Prison, right? So it's like a little damage technique. It does lower the speed, but 𝗬𝗂𝗆 is already slow, so it doesn't impact the 𝗬𝗂𝗆 that much. But let's see, Hypoxia going on the Lava Shark. 52 down to 24. Can potentially a Tesla Prison do the remainder? We'll see.
Oh, the defense down on top of that raged 𝗬𝗂𝗆. The Tesla Prison will come through, as you mentioned. 32 with the 𝗬𝗂𝗆, and it does. Will not get that Ember Strike into that 𝗧𝗵𝗆, which would have been absolutely devastating. That would have been, what, a stage difference of 5? between those two on a physical attack, or yeah, just a normal attack. So we'll see. So survives that, but the roll's still up.
You know, Blue, that was a really significant kill there. As we said from the top, Mastion was that one Temtem that could really do a number on the 𝗬𝗬𝗺, could do quite the number on the 𝗧𝗵𝗵. So the fact that it went down without even getting a single technique on one of those Temtems does feel bad. But let's see, of course, Mr. Rishi always have a plan, but let's see.
Special attack, resin trap. The boost is huge. Roller is nearly down already. Reactive violence force, but that will, for the foreseeable future, force the Roller into a defensive position for the rest of this match. Goring, though, trying to push through the 𝗧𝗵𝗵, and it destroys its HP bar. But with this Roller so low, a Thunderstrike is enough. It's nullified.
It is. Things like Electric Storm are online. Electric Storm is effective into the Pokus on that left-hand side. And as you said, a nullified Rotor doesn't do 24%. It is decently likely, but it does come down to the speeds. 𝗧𝗵𝗵 down at 18.7%. So if it's not able to outspeed things like the Pokus, we see the Plague going first, going into the Rotor, and it will be enough, despite it being nullified, as you mentioned.
Barks once again on the 𝗬𝗬𝗺. The scale up is getting really dangerous here, but the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 will be picked up, so no more sparks on that. But 𝗬𝗬𝗺 at +2 special attack with the Mastion still available. Only Tataru here to contest. The Tataru will have to do a ton of physical damage into this 𝗬𝗬𝗺 to clear it before it trades efficiently.
You know, luckily for the side of Mr. Rishi, it is a -2 defense 𝗬𝗬𝗺, and there is no strange rest to be found, right? So 𝗬𝗬𝗺 already having naturally weak defenses, a Major Slash should be doing all the damage it needs on this 𝗬𝗬𝗺. But of course, Major Slash not online just yet, so Hypnosis most likely on the Mastion, just to make sure it doesn't get anything off. Let's see what the little Tataru does. Extra Energy Slam, whoo, down to 27%. The Major Slash definitely would have killed there.
Absolutely. The damage significant on that 𝗬𝗬𝗺. The Mastion asleep. So this is going to have to be an all-in coming in for the 𝗬𝗬𝗺 this turn, I believe. Mastion still hasn't revealed what its item is. Same with the Tataru. So we'll have to see what they might be. One of them might be a Diavolo. I don't think it's procced yet. Oh, it has. Sorry. So the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 has procced the Diavolo. So never mind. That is unavailable, but still, again, a bit closer. We'll see what the 𝗬𝗬𝗺 is able to do before it is taken away. Hocus gonna get punished with the resin trap, but it's not quite enough. Hocus will survive at 3.2% HP, and the Stare throwdown on the Mastion, chipping away at it so that Rage can do the damage later down the line. Extra Energy Slam will finally pick up the 𝗬𝗬𝗺. But yeah, now it's down to the Mastion. 1v2 here, but I believe it should be... Oh no, it is the slowest Tem on the board, I believe.
I think so as well. You know, Blue, Mr. Rishi executed perfectly. Even though he gave that Mastion up early, I believe he relied heavily on this Stare Tataru 1-2 punch, if you will. So -4 defenses. This Major Slash that we're about to see right here is going to be quite the ferocious one, down to 30%. But first aid kit back up. Okay.
First aid kit and the tsunami coming through. Hocus will get picked up, and this Tataru is out of stamina. The next attack, the next Energy Slam must kill the Mastion, unless Mr. Rishi wants to rest here and not overexert. Oh, Held Anger is still available! That should be it! This Mastion should not survive. Never mind, plus forgot Held Anger was a...
Exactly right. Mr. Rishi having the game plan all along, not dropping a single time. GG. Mr. Rishi going up a single game in our quarterfinals, so...
necessary to get that secured kill on that Mastion.
And I like this, Blue. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗺 was a little bit problematic to take down. It took a lot of resources out of Dinodude's Tems to get him down. So I do like this ban, but of course, banning the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 does leave the Grandpa open. And I'm not seeing a lot of electric Tems on Dinodude's Tem. Of course, the exception will be the 𝗧𝗵𝗵, but man, Grandpa is so fast that a little Hypnosis might just try to deal with the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 that way, right?
I think that is actually what Mr. Rishi is considering, if he even has to ban the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 at all. or if he wants to go with his previous ban of just Drakash, right, and play through that with the Grandpa now available as an option. But no, 𝗧𝗫 gets banned first, actually, by Mr. Rishi, instead of the Drakash, so leaving the Drakash in, but of course with the Grandpa in, it's a whole different ball game now for Mr. Rishi, as he can just open with Grandpa +1, or he could open once again with the Roller Bastion or something, but okay, Grandpa Bastion works as well.
Yeah, I do like this. Of course, Grandpa over there would resist things like Hypoxia. But of course, I don't think Dinodude was going to be throwing it in that direction. Most likely on the Bastion. But if you throw it at the Bastion, that does leave the window open for a big old lava wave to the face of little old 𝗬𝗬𝗺. So I don't think 𝗬𝗬𝗺 will be sticking around for that opening turn unless it really wants to be daring. But I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that one. So let's see. Dinodude does have the blue side counter pick. Who does he pick up? And of course, the Grandpa counter, if you will. A nice little 𝗬𝗵𝗻.
Right, but you're gonna need the second turn here for Dinodude to land that Thunder Strike, right? And then again, if you look at Mr. Rishi's team, I think he should be okay with swapping out Grandpa's second turn all day, especially if you get a punish on the 𝗬𝗬𝗺. Roller will get banned here, actually, getting rid of that other fire problem, and the rat gets picked up again by Dinodude.
There we go, the nasty little rat. He does pack quite the punch, though, I will say. He's just a glass cannon, right? He's truly a glass cannon, similar to 𝗬𝗵𝗆. But here goes, as we keep reiterating, the bread and butter for Mr. Rishi squad. The 𝗬𝗃𝗃 combo, stare into Major Slash, stare into Hell Anger, almost seemingly unstoppable, especially when you consider the pilot being Mr. Rishi. Truly, truly quite the feat to spectate. But here we go, everybody. Round number 2, as we said in the past, one win away from heading into the semifinals, unless the man, the myth, the legend, Dinodude takes him down before then. We will see, though, of course, here in game number 2.
So the Anhimito Grandpa for Mr. Rishi's side, and that Bastion, of course, 𝗬𝗵𝗆 and 𝗬𝗬𝗺 for the side of Dinodude. I do favor Mr. Rishi here because he is capable of doing so much punish on this 𝗬𝗬𝗺, which was a major factor in getting that game close for Dinodude. But the stare down, yeah, with the Ember follow through, this might be devastating. But no, the bait comes in. Jebaited. Defense down, though, will still be important.
Yeah, it is -2, and a Bastion lava wave might just be incoming, Blue. 100%. No. Let's see where we're going with this.
Oh my god, it is obliterated! Plus, 𝗬𝗬𝗺 is taken straight out. And this is what I was talking about. This Grandpa Bastion against that 𝗬𝗬𝗺, the trade would not be efficient. Even if it didn't go down, you look at the HP pools, and the Grandpa would have swapped out all day there for the to avoid that Thunder Strike. So Dinodude down one whole Tem, as again the Grandpa will take that trade. -1 speed will not really be a deterrent in the long run, especially if you just commit to applying as much damage as possible now.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And of course, one thing we keep seeing over and over on Mr. Rishi's team, which is why it works so well, he has a lot of physical presence, the presence being Bastion, 𝗬𝗃, and then he has a lot of minus defense users, kind of like Grandpa Stare, Pocus Stare, beautiful, beautiful synergies all around. And we saw that awesome opener. We said, I don't think 𝗬𝗬𝗺 should be holding on into that turn 1, and we see exactly why. It got punished, but I will say, I think Dinodude was trying to go for the 5-head read, trying to perhaps say, you know, Mr. Rishi knows I'm probably going to swap out 𝗬𝗬𝗺. Let's leave it in here and hope he doesn't attack it, right? So it was a little bit of a try to 5-head read, but Mr. Rishi kept it nice and simple, right? Just straightforward, click the green circles, and obviously got well rewarded for it.
Absolutely, Mr. Rishi securing that kill. So Grandpa will be saved, but Mr. Rishi wants to use it later in the game as well. 𝗬𝗃 coming in with that Bastion as well for that synergized stone ball potentially. Has a prison to slow it down. The chip effect is perfectly solid here, but the lava wave onto that 𝗬𝗵𝗆, just softening it up for that stone ball follow up. So below 60% on the lava wave trade. We'll see which it benefits more here. Okay, it's about even. But the nutrition bar gonna make sure that it will slightly lean Mr. Rishi's favor. Of course, the speed down is solid here for the long term, but Dinodude still playing a Temtem down will have to do a lot more damage because even stamina-wise, he is also currently behind in that aspect.
Yeah, I think so as well. You know, I think Mr. Rishi did the right plays, preserving that Grandpa. It still hasn't used Hyperkinetic Strike, right? We haven't seen it just deployed just yet. So holding on to that HKS, so potentially when the little 𝗧𝗵𝗵 comes into the board, he has that proper HKS to deal with it appropriate. But nice little 𝗬𝗏 doing the speed on Mastion, doing a little 30% damage.
Oh,
and, interesting, Blue.
Yeah, the speed up just said 𝗬𝗏, what? +1 speed, Flaming Meteorite, what killed the dinosaurs? And it's gonna kill the 𝗬𝗏 as well. Absolutely shredding it to pieces, the Pyromaniac with that bonus damage. Carrying that kill is 𝗬𝗏. Going to see if it can trade at least a solid amount of damage, but it's just not quite enough.
Yeah, it's like the little falling dominoes. Ever since that early turn pressure, he has not let go of the gas, and little by little, Tems are falling on Dinodude's side. Can he do anything to try to recover from this deficit? Finding himself 2 Temtems down. Oh man, it looks a little rough, but as you mentioned, Blue, he does have a little bit of the HP advantage, but he doesn't have that Temtem advantage, of course, so is not as important as you may think. So the rat is coming in onto the board without the Grandpa, so a little wiggle room, potentially able to get off a nice wastewater onto the Mastion. That should be effective damage, of course. Even so, I believe it could do 48%. As we said before, 𝗧𝗵𝗵 is so impactful when he does connect.
So the Mastion will be swapped out for the Kinu here. The Tanner is still on the field. And Master will be swapped out for Dinodude as well. The 𝗧𝗵𝗵, as you mentioned, on the field with the 𝗧𝗏 now as well. So the absolute amount of damage here will be quite huge. Heat up comes through for the rat for the major slash on the 𝗧𝗏 spot. Will take it down to 30%. Huge here for that Tanner. It's not even buffed plus. That is a squishy 𝗧𝗏.
Yeah, definitely no. 𝗧𝗏 was a good Temtem to try to deal with this Kinu here, but already find himself on 31%, so on his way out. And you know, even just a little double up, something from the Tattoo, that's probably all it takes to get rid of the 𝗧𝗏. But we'll see. The Kinu kind of not really doing too much. Maybe potentially able to get something like a Hypnosis, maybe like a nice little Beta Burst, just for nice little damage across the board. But Kinu isn't by any means some kind of win condition, but the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 does go first, and it does have the synergy Blue, so nice little 2 ticks of burn.
Absolutely, 2 ticks of burn. That's a lot of damage. Nutrition bar as well. Just proccing a Pebble with a wastewater, trying to secure the kill in the Tanner when it does. The burn damage going to tick away at the Kinu as well. We'll see what it was supposed to do. Triple choreography will whiff on the Tataru. It will give itself a speed boost, but still, that is unfortunate for the side of Mr. Rishi. I think trying to set up that Tataru for something a bit more. Hocus on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, well done for Dinodude, recognizing the bigger threat on the board, and that wasn't the Tataru. Besides, you know, most people, when they see a Benefactor Kinu, they tend to gun it down, right? They say, you know, I'm not going to waste my attacks on the highlight Temtem because of that Benefactor recovery. But no, Dinodude knowing exactly what he needed to get done, eliminating the Tataru, and that's a good solid kill. But now he has to deal with 2 of these mental Temtems. Poke is coming in, so it does have access to things like Stare, but the Lava Wave should be OHKOing the Kinu here from 46%.
Lava Wave absolutely completely one-shotting this Kinu, and the rat carrying Dinodude here with so much damage at its disposal. The exhaustion, sure, costing it a lot of stamina, but it's already taken down 2 attempts for its value. One more should even the playing field here a bit more, as 𝗧𝗏 is obviously still low. But yeah, Hocus, the biggest problem at the moment, aside from the Grandpa, of course, which is always a problem,
Exactly right. You know, well said. Evening the playing field here. 3 Temtems to 3, and Dinodude still stands with that HP advantage. So little by little, Dinodude getting the swing of things. However, we did say once the Grandpa hits the board, the rat does not feel safe whatsoever. HKS is online, but it is -1 speed, so not necessarily packing that huge speedy punch that we're used to seeing from Grandpas in the past. Is it enough for a little 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶? It looks like Dinodude is saying yes, so goes ahead and affords to sacrifice the 𝗧𝗃𝗃. Well, this is good, Blue, because there's only one hyperkinetic strike, right? So it's going to be deployed on the 𝗧𝗃𝗃, which means the rat comes in next turn. This is a potential window of opportunity for Dinodude.
Absolutely. Stair goes down onto the Bastion, but we take those any day of the week, at least for Dinodude's side. And the Dinosaur Slayer coming down as well, and will secure that kill on the Grandpa. And again, I have to wonder, this rat seeming unstoppable right now from Dinodude. Focus will have to push forward, or perhaps the Bastion, if he can get a quick kill on the on Dinodude's Bastion. Perhaps you'll have a 2-on-1 against the rat. But right now, 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶 looking so strong.
Yeah, so strong indeed. 100% at 75% increase on those physical attacks. It should be easily taking down the Bastion. And I feel like, you could take down the Bastion, but I'm wondering if the Focus with those stairs is a little bit more intimidating, right? Because Bastion, you're fighting against 2 fire Temtems, right? You don't take double damage from the water, and this is exactly what we're seeing. He's prioritizing taking down the Focus rather than the Bastion, because you're not taking too much damage from Mr. Rishi's Bastion. So well played so far for Dino.
Committing the Gamma Burst puts the rat below half HP. That is huge as Aqua Stone coming through. Will the rat go down? It's not enough. Plus 15% HP. The Bastion just didn't have it in him, and it will get traded. But the rat got his damage out. Bastion is already eliminated. Mr. Rishi concedes, knowing it is just not there. Into the game. We will see what the bans will be this time, because the rat, I mean, the rat's already banned. Mr. Rishi's like, no. No rat shenanigans today.
Yeah, I think the rat did so much work. Mr. Rishi thought it was going to be easy to take him down with the Grandpa, but it ended up working not too well, right? The plan did not go as planned, if you will. But okay, the rat was banned, so the 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 does get to come through. A nice little coverage here. You got the 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 and the 𝗧𝗃𝗃. Let's see what Mr. Rishi decides. Okay, the half-full 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 really pressuring out that 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 turn 1. Oh, you know, Blue, he ended up leaving the Grandpa, so perhaps he felt like the Grandpa wasn't too impactful on their game. We'll see if Mr. Rishi proves him wrong, because I know it's one of his favorite Temtems to play. But Kinu is also pretty good, right? We saw the Benefactor come through, but we'll see. The other Temtems available to him do seem pretty solid. So 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶, Bastion rounding out the team for Dino, Grandpa, Taru, Bastion rounding out the team for Rishi. If I had to pick between Voldorant and 𝗬𝗏𝗚 into this team, it is a little bit of a tough choice, but perhaps for the Bastion, Toxic Voldorant feels a little bit better. But okay, the 𝗬𝗏𝗚 comes in. Fair enough.
Interesting. Yeah, 𝗬𝗏𝗚 being another win condition perhaps in the back pocket of Dinodude. Of course, no 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃 to just outright carry, so it'll be a bit more of trade back and forth, I believe, with that 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃. Again, huge opening turn, potentially here. But of course, a double up could just spell its doom. So we might see a first turn swap out, but the Mom's Lunch as well. I mean, Dinodude will have to consider how much stamina he'll be expending to do so.
And you know, Blue, I just thought about it. Exactly why he picked up the 𝗬𝗏𝗚, because he needs a pivot swap. He needs something to pivot out of 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃. If he had a Voldorant, it would have just been eaten alive by the big old Thunderstrike, right? So I do think it was better to pick up this 𝗬𝗏𝗚 so that the pivot could eat up that Thunderstrike a little bit better, of course. So hey, of course, Dinodude knowing way more than I. So good little pickup at the end. We'll see if the 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 wants to step away, which I do think it should, because it's going to go down. But interesting, Rishi is playing around the 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 swap out, swapping out its own 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 there.
Yep, Taru comes in. So probably expecting to stare that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 spot in a moment here, but the high pressure water committed. Mud shower as well to follow through onto that spot just to see 𝗧𝗵𝗆 stay, and it was a stare. It was setting up for that 𝗬𝗬𝗺 kill, but debated. It's the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 staying in. The Tataru will have to live with that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 kill. Not that it's like a major detriment to not kill the 𝗧𝗵𝗺. Because of course 𝗧𝗵𝗆 is still threatened by it, but still, I do think Mr. Ishii was setting up for potentially that 𝗬𝗬𝗺 kill, but I'm guessing he'll be taking the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 kill regardless, unless Dinodude decides to swap out now, which again, still in the cards, Mr. Ishii has to consider that.
And you know, Blue, I don't know why I completely forgot. Of course, 𝗧𝗫 does 4x damage on the 𝗧𝗵𝗆, so it wasn't necessarily that the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 was threatened out, so it wasn't too much of like a huge brave play,
sure.
right? It was the mud showers potentially going to the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. You know, I completely blundered a little bit early on. We'll try to pay more attention, but yeah, it makes so much sense why Mr. Ishii did retreat there. But okay, we do see some swaps coming in, and hey, the big lava sharks coming in at the exact same time. Masty on number 1, Masty on number 2. Who's gonna be pulling on ahead? You know, 𝗧𝗫 does not want to mess with things like a tsunami we've seen in the past, brought in from Rishi, of course.
Tataru already taking so much damage. A major slash to follow through on the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 spot, but the Master will be eating that perfectly fine. And the burn damage chipping away. The Tataru already down of 6% HP, 6.5. Yeah, Dinodude getting the bang for his buck. Mr. Ishii is yet to retaliate in any meaningful damage fashion.
Yeah, not just yet. As you can see, a lot of 100% still standing on Dinodude. Only the Mastion getting about 1/3 of his HP taken down, of course. But you know, it could be changing here as we stand. Of course, Mastion on Rishi's side does have access to Tsunami, and that does do 4x damage to the 𝗧𝗫. So I wouldn't blame Dinodude to retreat the 𝗧𝗫 here. Potentially for either the 𝗧𝗪𝗈, I feel like could be okay. But we'll see. Either 𝗧𝗪𝗈, the 𝗬𝗬𝗺, or no, the 𝗬𝗬𝗺 into Mastion. I don't think you risk it. So it does have to be that Luma 𝗧𝗪𝗈.
Swapping in here for that grandpa, the 𝗧𝗪𝗈. In the right place, the right time, but the speed boost is going to be huge. The lava wave as well. Trying to see if he can pick off the Tataru here, but it should survive. 25% nutrition bar as well. Cancels out that burn. And the grandpa set up here for some success.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Blue, usually this 𝗧𝗪𝗈 feels pretty good here. We got the electric storm online, but really well done for Mr. Ishii, right? Letting know that the turbo choreography was online, brings in the grandpa, gets +3 speed across the current board, and now hypnosis is online, so you don't have to worry about an electric storm coming in if the 𝗧𝗪𝗈 is put to rest. I'm trying to remember what item the 𝗧𝗪𝗈 has. I don't remember. I don't know if you could recall, Blue. If it has something like a bait, it could be quite problematic, but Mr. Ishii should know by now. It probably doesn't have something like that.
Major slash coming through, trying to deal damage to the 𝗧𝗪𝗈. It's huge. 22.9% remainder on the 𝗧𝗪𝗈. Also put to sleep, and the meteor trade will be there. But the damage has been done, and this grandpa with that speed, as you mentioned, landing that hypnosis. Huge.
Yeah, huge indeed. I believe now it's available. You know, a nice little opening for 𝗧𝗵𝗆 coming in. We said that Thunderstrike was devastating on the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. Well, hey, that still stands for the Mastion, of course. Mastion, it's probably pretty close. It does depend on who has a bit more speed investment. Both of these Temtems are naturally on the slower side of things. But we'll see. If Mastion feels like it's fast enough, maybe we could see an Aqua Stone. But on that same thought, is not 4x damage. I don't think it will be enough to take down the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. So here we go. It does look like it's going to be retreated for the time being.
𝗧𝗫 gets swapped in here with that Sentinel Hyperkinetic Strike. Coming through with the 𝗧𝗫 does so much damage. Tesla Prison coming through on that grandpa just to chunk it down a little bit by damage. A severe Thunder Strike as well to trade in the 𝗧𝗪𝗈, saying, I have the bigger bolt. straight down. 𝗧𝗵𝗶 will get picked off, and Dinodude, the Grandpa, and the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 are online now.
Yeah, that is right. We saw the Hypno the previous turn, or the previous 2 turns. So Hypno going back online. But yeah, that incredible hyperkinetic strike at +3 speed, doing about 80% on that 𝗧𝗃. Truly incredible to witness. And now Thunder Strike still available for the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. And it should be, the Grandpa on Mr. Rishi's side should be fast enough. I'm just wondering, does it have a Tornado Blue? I don't think we've seen a Tornado in the past. But if it does, it should be able to outspeed the 𝗧𝗃. But it does have Hellfire synergy to its left, so maybe that 3 priority comes into play as well. But at +2 speed, Grandpa should be fine.
Bastion. Yep, coming in. Turbo choreography as well. Oh, baby, this Grandpa is going fast. Hellfire is following through, though, to try and chip away at this Grandpa, and it does. 37.5% HP remaining. Sharp Brain as well, committed, doing a good amount of damage to the Bastion. 34.7% HP remainder. So the Grandpa getting there. The Bastion not looking so healthy as well. Looking at the HP pools, I mean, Dinodude does have HP advantage, has stamina advantage, actually goes in favor of Mr. Ishii, but yeah, again, these HP pools looking mighty dangerous.
And I do love the decision making for Mr. Rishi here, preserving the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 for that very end, for when he finds himself facing off against the Oshiara. Even the 𝗬𝗬 can't take too many Thunder Strikes. I know it does have decent special defenses, but at +1 special attack, maybe it would just be 2 Thunder Strikes to take it down, but we will see when that time comes. For now, HKS is online on the bird. Hypnosis is online on the bird. You could go for Hypno this turn. That way you get the full impact on HKS. But the question is, does one of the Temtems that doesn't get put to sleep, or wait, Blue, I didn't see the trait on this 𝗧𝗃, because if it's a Sentinel trait, there's no more availability for this Hypnosis, right? 𝗧𝗃 keeps everything awake, so I don't think he can rely on this Grandpa Hypnosis. I think he just has to go hard for the damage.
Absolutely, the 𝗧𝗃 presence stops any Hypnosis play here. But the 𝗬𝗬 comes in actually. Whoa! That's the 𝗬𝗬 swap and predicting that HKS, and it reads it perfectly. And the 𝗬𝗬 says, "What damage?" Bait is summoned from the inventory of that 𝗬𝗬. Flaming Meteorite to follow through, though, trying to perhaps read that 𝗬𝗬 swap, and it is! 𝗬𝗬 gets shredded to pieces, and it will get picked off here instead of that 𝗧𝗃. So either way would have been a kill for Mr. Rishi. Lava Wave trying to get the job done in the Grandpa, and it will.
Yeah, well done for Mr. Rishi, crossing his T's, dotting his I's, making sure he can't miss on that left-hand spot, but it did come at a cost, right? It does leave that Grandpa no longer to be in the battle on this turn, so final 3 Temtems available for these guys, coming down to the bitter end. This is exactly what we would expect. Nothing less from a Game 3 situation. 𝗧𝗵𝗆 coming in, but the 𝗧𝗃 is still kicking in the back line, but instead it's going to be the Oshiara coming through.
Absolutely, and Mr. Rishi, he don't miss, but also at the same time, plus that's an Oshiara, that's a speedy boy with that water techniques potentially in hand here for that 𝗧𝗵𝗆 doing it. Might just clear it, and it's the other win condition here for Mr. Rishi. Of course, the Bastion is still fast with a +2 speed, but will it do 100% of the Oshiara's HP before it gets to trade into the 𝗧𝗵𝗆? I mean, we'll have to see really which goes first in this scenario, because it's quite close now.
Yeah, well, of course, Oshiara being one of the faster Temtems in the game, it should definitely be going first. I believe it only has access to a Tsunami right now. I don't think 𝗧𝗵𝗆's Wrath will be online. It did retreat the first turn. Or no, Blue, I misspoke. I don't think it did retreat, so 𝗧𝗵𝗆's Wrath should be online. Let's go ahead and see how big of an impact it will be making, or hey, if you will, how big of a splash, but instead, a Sharp Rain coming through.
Sharp Rain, yeah, I'm absolutely following through. Look at that damage. The 𝗧𝗵𝗆's almost dead, and the Tsunami is coming through. The 𝗧𝗵𝗆 doesn't even get to go in yet, and it will get picked off. It's all Mr. Rishi down to the Hocus and the Bastion. And the Hulk is already taking so much damage. Oh no!
Wow, what an underdog story. Of course, I don't want to say Dinodude is the underdog, but Mr. Rishi is the previous champion, so doing the unthinkable. A lot of people probably voted for Mr. Rishi taking it down, but down to 26%, 34.7 on his Temtems respectively. And 𝗧𝗵𝗺 is still available. 𝗧𝗵𝗺's Wrath might just end it all, Blue. I wouldn't be surprised to see it right here, right now.
It does come through! 𝗧𝗵𝗺's Wrath will come in to seal the deal most likely. It's not quite there. The Bastion lives at 2.4% HP. It is still alive, but there is no way this Bastion is getting that bread. It is just not there. Mr. Rishi, his 2 win conditions got picked off in consecutive fashions without trading efficiently, and it led to that loss, but well played by both tamers.